Hey y'all, Pop's Cooper, LivingCooper.com. Today, I got a Coop simple how-to for you. So Nana and I were out getting ready to do some yard work. I got out the trusty troy-bilt weed eater, and it would barely start, but it wouldn't start, not getting enough gas. So I know what the problem is because I've had this problem before. You may have had this problem or not. First, primer bulb, I thought. You've seen my primer bulb video. If you haven't, check that out. How to replace a primer bulb. Not the primer bulb, next problem. So the next problem that I've had before, and I've done before, and I'll show you guys, is the fuel lines. These fuel lines, they wind up cracking and breaking, and they'll have to be replaced. So today, I'm going to show you how to replace the fuel lines on the troy-bilt weed eater. This is a 4-cycle weed eater, so it has oil and gas, not an oil-gas mixture. Keep watching, and I'll show you what I do. Okay, y'all, first thing I do is I take off the weed eater attachment. It just makes it easier to handle the machine. Just loosen that up, take that off. Now, next thing to do is important. Any gas, you need to put back in your gas can. So grab a funnel, and let's put this gas back in here. Empty out our gas tank on our troy-bilt. Okay, so one of the ways you'll know that you may have a fuel line problem is when you push the primer bulb. If the primer bulb's not cracked, which I just replaced this one a couple of years ago, this one is not, then you may get fuel in the system, but it's not going all the way through. Now, it could also be a carburetor issue, but I've had a problem with these fuel lines cracking before, and I've replaced them before. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go ahead and replace those. So make sure you have a little rag, empty it out the gas. That way it's not going to get gas everywhere. And it's a fairly simple process. Pull off the gas lines. One's a return vent. This is a return line right here on the top. That's the return line. It should come out fairly easy, just like that. And let me see if I can inspect this thing and see if it's cracked. And I don't see a crack in here, and this one didn't really look like it was cracked either. But it's giving me the same symptoms as I've had before, and I don't really see a crack in this one either. Now this one is the intake line, fuel intake line, and it has a filter on the other end, which can be a bear to deal with. You got to get that thing out of there. So let me get some little claws. Okay, so I got a little pair of claws that I reach down in there with and pull that out. So I reach down in here and I have to pull this up a little bit and then push it back in just like that. And I've had this thing for about 10 years, I guess, and I have had no carburetor problems, but this is not looking promising because this fuel line looks like it's intact and it's not cracked anywhere. So let me cut this off, but we're going to go ahead and finish up the replacement of it, and that way you guys can see how to do it in case you got your own problem and you need to get of a broken or cracked fuel line on your troy-bilt. And I'm sure other brands are probably similar. Alright y'all, so here's your little fuel intake filter, and it's all fine. Alright, so what I need to do is I need to go ahead and get this piece off right here. So however you got to get it off, sometimes it is difficult to do, especially if you're using a dull knife like me. Alright, so now we got it off. It's got these washers on there, I guess, just to weight it down in there. So we got our old tubes off, and we'll have to get some new ones. I'll be back in just a second with the new ones. Okay y'all, here we go. I got my parts. I got the Arnold fuel line hoses kit, and actually I got 2 of these because my tank has 2 hoses that are the yellow, and these kits only have 1, so you might have to pick up 2 of these. I don't know how yours is set up. We'll pull out our hoses, and I don't know, actually this one hose we might be able to cut it in half. I don't think so, but they changed the way they have these kits. Used to, I would buy it, and it had 2 of the yellow hoses and 1 of the blue hoses. So, alright, so here we go. Here is one. This is the hose for the filter, the fuel line. Alright, so the first thing you'll want to do is take your fuel line, and you'll want to stick it in the hole here, and it's a pretty tight fit too. So I can cut the end off this thing a little bit. You see what I did? I just kind of cut the end off a little bit. see if we can get it started going that way. Okay, that seems to have worked. Now you just kind of work it back and forth until you get it in there. So a little tip when you guys get this started is if you take this thing and you twist this hose, twist it, and then while you're twisting it, you push down and it will go in a lot easier. So twist it and push it down at the same time and it will go in. It's just a pain to do. Now once we get enough in there, we will use our little grabber tool and pull the hose back up so that we can put the fuel filter on the end of it. Okay, let's take our little grabber tool and see if I got enough in there. Not quite. Now you can see it right there. Let's keep going, put some more in there. And it'll go a little faster once you get it kind of in the middle of the tube there. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so now we got that. Let's see if we can get a little more tube in there. What I do is I kind of push down on the inside with my finger and pulls it in. Okay, there we go. Now we got enough. I kind of chamfered the end here. I'm going to go ahead and cut that piece off. Still just a little bit more in here. Okay, now we got it there. So now we're going to take our filter, and this filter, at least on this troy-bilt, on this one that I have, it has some extra washers on there, and those washers are there to give it some weight so it'll sit down in the bottom of the tank. Alright, so now we will kind of do the same thing in reverse. We'll push the filter into the hose like so. Okay, and there we go. We got all the little splines on the filter tube there covered by the hose so that we get a good seal in there. We got our washers on there for our little weight. So now we're ready to put this back in. Drop that back into the tank there. I'll just use my little knife here. And now that's on the bottom. You gotta pull this back out some, and then you slip it onto the fuel intake on the little carburetor, on the little primer portion of the carburetor. Okay, that's that one. Now this other one, like I said, this hose is it's way too small. Well, you guys can see that very well, but it's way too small. So that's why you have to get two of these kits. And I've had to replace these hoses a couple of times. I've had this thing for about 10 years, and I've replaced them a couple of times. So this is the return line, and I just kind of cut it like so, and I just leave it like that. You know, kind of like when we chamfered it, that helps to push it in, but also when it's laying on the bottom, or when it's in the tank there, if it was flat, you could go flat against the bottom of the tank or the wall of the tank or something. So that always allows it to have a little opening for sure right there. Here we go, same thing, we got to put this one in. All right, here we go, there's the return line from the carburetor back to the unit. Oh, and also it doesn't need to stick down as far into the tank there as the other line does. I try to get that little filter to lay in that little contour there. That's kind of where my goal is. Because you got to think, when you're using it, you got this thing tilted up, so you kind of want it kind of on this end down here, so that when the fuel's laying down that way, you're going to get most of it in there. Now, just kind of wipe that out, kind of just a little maintenance thing, kind of clean that up a little bit when you got it open anyways. There's your little choke switch, so that's your choke, and I don't know what they call that, partial choke, and then your full open right there. Just for good measure, I'm going to take a little carburetor cleaner and spray in there. That thing's been sitting all winter. Wouldn't hurt to put a little carburetor cleaner in there and clean it up a little bit. Put our air filter back in there, and looking at it, this thing needs to be clean too. If you guys watch my primer bulb video, you can see I've had this thing for a while, and I don't do a lot to it. It's been pretty rugged engine, little engine. All right, let me get some gas in it. All right, let's see now. Let's see if we can see it as we prime. You'll see it came through there. That's why I had a little bit in the primer bulb. That's the return. So here comes the fuel. There's the fuel coming up from the tank, and now it's coming into the primer bulb and going back out through the little return line. Okay. Let me put the end back on this thing, and we'll see if we can crank it up. Hopefully it'll crank. Let's put the air cover back on there, air filter cover back on there. Okay, y'all, let's put the choke on, got the gas primed, we got the power switch on. Let's see, let's pull the trigger here and see if it'll crank. Alright y'all, how about that? We got it. My little kill switch quit working on here, so I just put it back in the choke and chokes it out. Okay y'all, there you go. Pops Cooper, LivingCooper.com with a Coop simple how-to on how to replace the fuel line and the return line on the troy-bilt 4-cycle model TB575SS multi-yard tool. Whatever extension you got on there, weed eater, edger, blower, hedge trimmer, they got several different attachments going to this thing. So there it is. If you haven't checked out the primer bulb video, if you're having a problem with your primer bulb, check that out. I got a simple how-to on how to replace that thing. Once again, hey, we appreciate you guys watching, taking the time to check it out. Hopefully this helps you out and you get your weed eater back online. Please like, give us that thumbs up, leave some comments, good, bad, otherwise, other simple how-tos you'd like to see. And please take the time, if you don't mind, subscribing. We'd appreciate the subscriptions. That lets us know that, you know, you're liking our content and you'd like to see more of our content. So subscribe, check out our video, our other videos, and keep watching. We'll see you guys next time.